It's not every day that a billion-dollar fraud is unveiled for the world to see, yet Nikola is one of those cases in which reality surpasses fiction. When the fraud accusations against Nikola's former CEO Trevor Milton were published in late 2020, the stock of the then highly promising hydrogen-powered truck manufacturer plummeted, and so did the expectations of seeing new companies bet on environmental approaches to vehicle production. Despite being convicted of fraud in 2022, Milton subsequently filed a lawsuit against his former Nikola associates and successfully put the case in the public radar again. The renewed interest has also brought up many new questions about Milton's decisions while in Nikola, his modus operandi, and the real reason he's looking for legal revenge after his conviction. Are you also curious about these things? Keep with us to find out more. From the outset and up until September 2020, everything seemed to be going great for Nikola. With its aim of developing electric trucks powered by hydrogen, the company was considered to be visionary and promising, despite having sold zero vehicles since its inception in 2014. While it isn't rare for companies and highly innovative startups to take several years before acquiring the capital, assets, and technology necessary to live up to their promises, this wasn't the case with Nikola. At the forefront of the company was Trevor Milton, a visionary entrepreneur whose ideas of creating new powering technology for vehicles led him to establish Nikola and acquire a $23 million property in Arizona in 2019, which would serve as the company's plant. Back then, Nikola, with Trevor as its chief executive officer, CEO, assured that the company's plant would start producing fleet-test hydrogen-powered trucks by 2021 and planned on mass-producing thousands of vehicles a year by 2023. On top of that, Trevor revealed plans to set up hundreds of hydrogen fueling stations around the world. The expectations were high, to say the least, as the company had managed to raise $300 million in capital at the time, having estimated the construction costs of the plant at $75 million. While all the goals set by Nikola were exciting from a business and technological perspective, the company fell short of its promises. In early 2020, good news seemed to come in waves for Nikola, as the company merged with VectoIQ Acquisition Corp. And prompted its listing on the Nasdaq Stock Exchange. This also meant that Trevor passed from being CEO to executive chairman, while his former spot was taken by Mark Russell, Nikola's former president. Later in September, General Motors acquired 11% of Nikola's stakes valued at $2 billion, immediately causing the company's shares to pop by 53%. However, the joy didn't last for long for Nikola, as only 2 days after announcing its deal with General Motors, the firm Hindenburg Research posted a thorough report accusing Nikola of misleading practices, describing their operations as an intricate fraud. In the report, Hindenburg pointed out that Trevor had made baseless claims about Nikola's technology and production capacity, pointing out that the company hadn't developed hydrogen-fueled vehicles, contrary to what they'd led people to believe during their showroom exposures to attract new investors. On top of that, Nikola was accused of rolling one of their alleged prototypes down a hill to fake its propulsion in an edited video posted on social media. As expected, Nikola vehemently denied Hindenburg's research allegations, with Trevor Milton describing the report as an attempt to manipulate the stock. He promised to refute the claims with evidence and assure that Nikola's products had been tested by credible companies and investors, though that didn't stop their shares from plummeting. The next couple of months saw Trevor resigning from his role for personal reasons, while several companies terminated their association with Nikola and others backed away from future deals, including General Motors. On top of that, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission started an independent investigation into the fraud allegations, leading Nikola to admit that some of the statements made by Trevor about the company's processes and milestones were partially or totally inaccurate, and agreed to settle the fraud charges with $125 million. In mid-2021, Trevor was indicted with stock and criminal fraud for lying about Nikola's processes, including unfinished prototypes, its developed technology, and various business aspects. He was found guilty and sentenced to 4 years in prison in 2023, on top of being fined $1 million. For its part, Nikola continues its operations and delivered its first batch of vehicles in 2022. Despite the outrageous fraud case involving him, Trevor Milton wasn't ready to leave things as they were. 1 year after receiving his 4-year jail sentence, Trevor went on to sue several of his former Nikola associates and co-executives. As stated in court documents filed by Trevor, he was supported and encouraged by Nikola's legal advisor, Britton Worthen, to post some of the statements which landed him behind bars. According to Trevor, he often sought legal advice from Britton about social media posts, news releases, and other informative events related to Nikola's products, obtaining positive responses from the attorney, who at the time was both Trevor's colleague and a family friend. Nonetheless, Trevor accused Britton and a handful of other former and current executives of Nikola's of blindsiding him, as they had allegedly failed to communicate their concerns about his marketing and business practices to him, while making it a topic of discussion among other circles inside the company. Other people mentioned in the suit are Mark Russell, Kim Brady, Stephen Gursky, and Stephen Schindler. The $1 billion suit also accuses Trevor's former associates of lying to take over his spot in the company and save themselves from jail. As to the future, it's still uncertain for Nikola as a company, as it was reported that several of its vehicles caught fire due to malfunctioning batteries. This led the company to stop the distribution of the artifacts in 2023, causing its shares to plummet. So it's unclear what route Trevor Milton's new suit will take, but the case will certainly bring up new details about the situation inside Nikola's inner workings between 2016 and 2020, which is the time span when he made the allegations that landed him a 4-year prison sentence. Only time will tell what will happen to all of them. Thank you for spending some time with us. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpick these videos, which we recommend you watch next. You can talk to us on all social medias or ask a question in the comments below. Thank you for being with us, and we'll see you back tomorrow.